I'm Caleb Anderson, and this is the Spirit Farm podcast, where we celebrate grace, cultivate growth for real people in real time. And on this special midweek edition, I want to follow up on this most recent podcast with my friend Grant Botma. We talked in that episode, in that interview, about Grant's passion with his business, his stewardship business, to cultivate an environment, a company culture, but also an experience for their clients where their overarching theme is, how do we love people through finances? Right? So you could look at a company, you could say, oh, that's an insurance company, that's an investment company, that's a health care agency. Grant says, no, 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 no. We're a company that loves people through finances. Remember that? So I want to use that as a jumping off point for you to consider your work, what it is that you do, whether it's in the home, whether it's as a teacher, a business professional, a coach, an entrepreneur, an executive, wherever you find yourself, even an artist. I want to invite you to think a little bit more about the purpose behind what it is that you do. I have some friends. I started a company called Apollos. You have probably seen the Apollos Global market bags. These market bags have gotten extremely popular. They are made somewhere overseas, and the people making these bags are earning a living wage. With Apollos, their goal when they created clothes, and then specifically as they've just kind of been bursting at the seams with these market bags, is to create sustainability and 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 decent working and living conditions for their employees all over the world. So this jacket is an Apollos jacket, and it was created somewhere in some part of the world, and the people in that shop are paid a good, respectable wage. Their conditions are healthy. They're able to thrive. They're able to support their families. It's fair trade that's coming into our country legally. All the dots are dotted and the T's are crossed. And they've done that not because it's the cheapest way to do business, because it's the best way to do business. Because Apollos has a deep conviction that they want to do activism through industry, that they want to help people as they create profits. And it's not one or the other. Both are equally valuable. Just like Grant saying, we love people with finances, using this vehicle of finances. Makes me think of a famous story in the scriptures from Jesus' time on earth when he encountered some guy named Zacchaeus. And Zacchaeus was a corrupt tax collector, obviously good with numbers. He knew how to manipulate the numbers, and he did manipulate. And he cheated people out of their money, and he taxed over and above what the Roman Empire was taxing, and he took extra money from his own people to line his pockets. But when he encountered Jesus, everything changed. Jesus looked at him, knew him. Zacchaeus knew that he was forgiven, that he was wholly loved, that he had a fresh start, that there was purpose for his life, that God had more for him, and it changed everything in a moment. And once you've had an encounter like that with Jesus, once God gets your attention, once something happens inside of you and you realize that you're not alone, you're not on your own, that God is involved and engaged and has more for you to do, it screws up your math. God math takes over. And for Zacchaeus, he goes, I'm giving back everybody that I cheated, I'm giving them 4 times as much. So now Zacchaeus doesn't have much money because he's he's cheated a lot of people, and he gave back to them 4 times what he cheated. I mean, it didn't even make sense at the time. And everyone was just like, is this real? Until this check started clearing. They're like, wow, something happened to Zach. He's had a transformation. Well, we don't know if Zach stayed in the industry, if he continued to be a tax collector for the Roman Empire. He may have, and he may have just done it differently. He may have found a different job, but we know that he was good with numbers. He probably deployed that in some way. You might need to get a new job if your job isn't working. Or, more than likely, you need to take a different look at your job. See, you might not be in the wrong job. You might be in the job wrong. And so what I want you to consider for a few moments today is, how can you bring more purpose to your work? How can you bring a defining vision statement to something that maybe has been previously mundane, or you've just been going through the motions, or you've just seen yourself in this dead end job, or you've just seen yourself in this typical kind of role or capacity. How can you bring a new sense of purpose and mission and vision to what you do? And maybe even a tagline that helps you stay focused and reminds you what matters most. That you are not just a stay-at-home parent. You are raising the next generation. That you are not just a teacher. You're a professional encourager, lifting up this future generation. That you are not just an accountant. You are serving people, loving people by using and leveraging and crunching numbers. That you are not just an executive at the top of the food chain. No, you're an empowerer. You are a bridge builder. You are a barrier buster for everybody underneath you. You loving people down the organization every chance you get, flipping the organizational chart on its head, elevating others, using your position that's up here to elevate people that maybe feel like they are down here. How can you bring more purpose to your work? Now, if you're in a group setting, or if you're having a conversation with a spouse or a friend or a family around the table, whatever that looks like, I want to invite you to use the discussion questions that we have provided. If you get the weekly email, if you don't, sign up for the weekly email at spiritfarm.tv, or there's a link also on the YouTube page description that you can leverage and that you can use. Hopefully, you can have a great conversation. But think about the tagline that maybe will be a guiding thing for you, a guiding light for you, and bringing purpose to the work that you do. And I'll see you in the next episode.